doesn't love playing around with sparkly, shimmery, duochrome indie eyeshadows? Certainly not me. I cannot get enough. And for this month of No Pan Left Behind, I have been working on the beautiful Titanium Fox's Poppy Storm eyeshadow palette. It is what I have on my eyes today, and it is what I used for the Get Ready With Me of this look last video. So if you wanted to see me do this look very quickly before we start that video, definitely go and check that one out. But I didn't think I could fall even more in love with this palette, but spoiler, I have. It's been amazing. This, as I said, has been my palette for No Pan Left Behind, and this has been my little single eyeshadow palette as well. So if you don't know what No Pan Left Behind is, let me explain. So I randomize 9 single eyeshadows and I handpick one palette, and I have to use every single shade one time just to get to know it a little bit, just to have some fun, just to play around with some new shades, things that maybe I haven't used very much in the past. And it just lets me get to know my collection, be a little bit more creative with my eye looks, and I just love it. I love it. So today I'm going to share with you the looks that I have made with these 2 eyeshadow palettes, but just before we do jump into the video, if you have not already, like and subscribe because it would mean the world to me. I upload every single day here on my YouTube channel. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup as well as duochromes and project panning, all that good fun stuff. If that sounds like a fun time to you, then definitely stick around because I love it so much. I cannot get enough. So hopefully this is the right place for you to be. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with Poppy Storm because it is what I have on my eyes today. I love this eye look. The glitter in the middle is from the Pastel Roses, so that is not Titanium Fox's. But let me tell you, this palette is so gorgeous. And I have got a few shades I haven't used just yet, but I will be rolling in a new palette because I think I only have like 3 shades left of this. That's not going to take me too much longer at all. So this eye look today, I started with the shade Poppy Loading, which is this green, dusty green khaki shade, and that is on my outer corners of this look. Then I blended that out with Summer Thunder, which is this really beautiful contrasty shade for the whole palette. It's a really nice pastel bright yellow. And then on my inner section, I used Poppy Stuff, which is the most neutral shade in the palette, and blended that out with Summer Love. Then on the inner part and underneath the glitter, I do have Shy Ray of Light, which is this shade here. It looks white in the pan, but actually it's the most beautiful bright yellow. It is just stunning. The quality of this palette, especially for a first release from a brand, is just absolutely insane. I absolutely love it. And then I did deepen the inner and outer corner a little bit with this black shade called See You Tomorrow. I love this look. I think it's so pretty. I did say in my Get Ready With Me this morning that it is finally spring, and this eye look really, really does scream that. I'm so happy that spring is finally here. You have no idea. It's been so cold here in England, so touch wood, it stays because I need it to stay. So then let's talk about this look that I did also with the Poppy Storm palette. So I started with the black called See You Tomorrow. So that's definitely been used if we didn't already know. Then I blended that out with Poppy Blood, which is this super deep, almost berry toned red. It's so beautiful. I blended that out with Happy Poppy all on the outer part. Then I used Water Bomb here on the inner section of my eye look. I topped it off with Heaven Looking, which is this beautiful denim color. It's so pretty. Then I topped my lid off with this stunning duochrome. This is like insane. This is like green to red. Like, wow. I cannot get over this duochrome. I'm really hoping that it is showing on camera. There you go. I think that's green and there's red. And then, if that wasn't enough, I then put Green Perfume as a winged eyeliner, just because this shade does have a lot of green in it, and I felt like the mattes in this look were very blue and red, so I wanted to pull a little bit of that green into the look as well, so I thought this was the perfect shade to use as a winged eyeliner, and it brought this whole look together really, really well. I'm actually really, really happy with how this look turned out. I think it is really beautiful. It's something a little bit different for me, I think, especially with that green wing, but I love it nonetheless. I think it is just beautiful. So with that being said, I think the only shades that I have not used is Poppy Love, which is this bright red. Then we have Welcomed Rain, which is a green to blue duochrome, and also Menace, which is this grey. So only 3 shades left to use in this whole palette. So like I said, I am going to be rolling in a new palette just because there's no point keeping in a whole eyeshadow palette just for 3 shades. I'm going to have them out in pretty soon, I think. Maybe I could do... oh, this in the crease, this on the lid, and then this is a wing, like a bright red wing. That would be so pretty. I think I'm going to do that. So I can have these out in one look, no issue. I'm so excited to do that look because I think that looks going to be so beautiful. But let's move on now to the singles palette and the looks that I did with that. Alrighty then. So this is my single eyeshadow palette. It always changes so much every month. So before we even start talking about the looks, how do you think this palette is going to change in the next month? A lot of you said this is kind of like a Halloween-y palette, and I absolutely agree, but it's also been kind of spring. So kind of springy, saturated Halloween. I don't know, what do you think? But I can say that I have used 1, 2, 3, 4 of these shades, which isn't the absolute most amazing thing in the world, but you know what? It is enough to give us a brand new color story, so I'm happy about that. So let's start with this look. This is a very different kind of look for me, and I absolutely loved how this turned out. I can't believe this was this month. It seems like so long ago. So I started with a black, then I blended that black out with a brown, which were 2 shades not in this project, and then I blended that brown out with this bright orange out in the crease here. It's a very similar color story to what I'm wearing today, actually, which is really interesting. Then I cut the crease and I used this super bright green all up in the inner corner. It looked so beautiful. It was so nice. I did also top it off with a little bit of yellow, but this green was stamped all in the inner crease and kind of in the middle of the lid as well. I did decide to use one of my shades from my Pan Matte palette out on the outer corner, which was the greeny shimmery shade. And then I thought I needed some contrast. I want something different. So I used this purple as a liner shade. And I think that contrasts this look so beautifully. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's a little bit of a different kind of placement, especially with the white eyeliner kind of lining the upper wing part. So we can take these shades out. And that was definitely a Halloween-y color story. I know I said I was gonna use these 2 in a look, and I will. I'm getting to it. I've not done it quite yet. Then the look, I don't think I have a picture of it, unfortunately. I did use this shade Dreamscape in a look with my Natasha Denona Mini Trio Chrome palette. It went really, really nicely. This is such a beautiful duochrome. It is a blue to pink, as I'm sure you can see there. Just something so stunning about this. I love this shade so much. It went so well with that. So yeah, they are the shades that I have used, which means I'm rolling in 1, 2, 3, 4 random eyeshadows into this palette. I'm so scared. This color story is pretty muted right now, so I'm hoping to get maybe some blues. You know me, I love some blues, but maybe not because the Natasha Denona Mini Trio Chrome, some clashing there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get my random app and see what we get. Okay, so I have 1 to 133 single eyeshadows. The first one is 112. Next we have 79. Then we have 80. And then we have number 5. Okay, a good mix there. Let me pull out some new shades and let's see our new color story. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is quite interesting. This color story is actually quite similar to the last Colour Story. So I'll pop a picture of the last Colour Story on screen now, and this is what our new Colour Story looks like. So pretty similar. We've got similar vibes. We've got these purples back in. No green, unfortunately, because that was a really nice contrast. But this is definitely more of a, I don't want to use the word bland because that feels really negative, but it's a more neutral feel. So this is Onyx from the LA Splash palette. It's just a black. You guys know I use a black in pretty much any eye look that I do, so I'm pretty happy about that. That's not going to be any issue to use. This is Lilac from the Pastel Roses, and I've actually said it's a very similar shade from one of my new shades that I got from the Pastel Roses. This is slightly more pink toned, I think, though. It's got that bluey shift to it, which is really beautiful. Definitely very springtime-esque, so that's really good for this time of the year. This is the Revolution Maxi Reloaded shade 14. This is like a deep purple kind of shade. It could go really, really well with lilac. That would be really nice. Just a 2-shade look with those two, I think would work really well. And then this shade down here is also new. This is the shade Aragonite from the LA Splash palette, and it's just a neutral, warm-toned shade. So pretty underwhelming, I feel like, this month, but that's okay, that's fine. We've got some new shades to play around with, and I always say if it wasn't for this project, my single eyeshadows would be so neglected, so I'm always happy to roll in new shades no matter what they are. Okay, so let's roll in my palette that I'm going to use for No Pan Left Behind this month, and some of you may be a little bit shocked with this, but I swear there is a reason to my madness. This is the That's Taupe palette from Colourpop. I know, I love colour. I love being bright in your face and all that kind of stuff. However, I did do a Shop My Stash with this palette, and I used the Shop My Stash for like my holiday makeup. I did go away for 4 days recently, and I only did my makeup one day, which was my traveling day when I was already at home in the morning, and I used this palette and I loved the look that I made. This has been a very, very neglected palette over the past few years, really. It was going to be my Pan That palette this year, but it lost out, and I just want to give it some love. I honestly think this is going to be my Pan That palette for next year, just because I really fell in love with it, especially this shade Slated. I've always said for a very long time that this shade, it doesn't perform how it used to, but honestly, she's stunning. She's stunning. She needs a little bit of a build up, but other than that, like, she's so beautiful. So a little bit more of a neutral month, I think, for this Project Pan. It will work pretty well with some of the pops in this palette as well. So I'm very, very happy about that. What do you think? Do you think this month has just been so boring? Oh my God, I'm so annoyed. Or are you welcoming the new change? I think I'm welcoming the new change. So that's what's important. But this is it. This is where I'm going to love you and leave you today. Guys, I hope you did enjoy. Like and subscribe if you did. And I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye!